quickly on the questions of seniors and navigating loss. So I mentioned earlier that one of the things that we're seeing most strongly among 14 to 24-year-olds is increased rates of depression. Depression is a really common response to loss, and it's part of an expected grief process. And that's, I think, what I want to say is that that's what's happening for a lot of our teens and young adults right now. This is what we're seeing is grief. And we're talking a lot about seniors, high school seniors, but it's important to know it's not just high school seniors. It's college seniors too. I mean, wow, all those years invested in college at a lot of personal cost, financial cost, a lot of investment of time, and to not get that moment to walk across the stage, that's really hard for college seniors too. But it's also eighth graders who were expecting the time to sort of mark their sort of graduation from eighth grade and moving on to ninth grade. And even if your kid isn't a senior, every single kid, not every single, but the majority of kids look forward to a lot of end of year rituals. You know, they're looking forward to that, the choir trip or the last band concert or the spring musical or their sports season, or even just the end of the year bonfires with their grade. So a lot of our kids are grieving, whether they know that's what they're doing or not. So, and the other thing I want to say is that this is a loss, not just for kids, but it's a loss for parents and families too. Many of us have looked forward to celebrating these moments. We've been there with our kids through all of these big events that were leading up to these moments, and they reflect our investment in our kids, and they reflect our love for our kids, and they reflect our hopes and dreams for our kids, and we're losing those too. So there is just a lot of loss that's happening. So how can we handle it? I think there's two things that I would recommend and that I'm trying to do in my personal life too and my clinical life. And the very first one is, and Michelle already alluded to this, you have to validate the feelings. It's okay to feel lost right now. It's okay to be sad, okay to be mad and feel robbed that you don't get these events. It isn't selfish. It doesn't undermine this sort of awareness that there are people out there struggling with bigger issues, that there are people who are sick or dying or having financial problems, and maybe I shouldn't be here fretting that I don't get the graduation party for my kid. It's okay to be sad about these things. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you human. And it's just a reflection of our investment in our kids and our families that we are noticing these losses. Then the second thing is, what can we do even in these sort of unfamiliar, unplanned times to still honor those important rituals in some way? It's not what was planned or hoped for, but it's better than doing nothing and pretending that, oh, we don't have the big graduation, so nothing's going to happen. Honoring rituals can look a lot different for different families. And so I think the first thing families need to do is spend a little time reflecting on their own family values and identifying what is it about the event that is most important to you and or your child that you're not getting. What was it about that celebration or that ritual that you were most looking forward to? Was it that you wanted the teenager themselves to feel honored and celebrate their accomplishments? Was it that this was meant to be a family time? You were looking forward to the party together, the dinner, the time to all be together? Was it the time with the friends or classmates to have celebrated having gone through all these experiences together? When you know what's most important to your teen or to your family, that can be a piece of informing how then best to celebrate and honor it. Two things help us celebrate and honor important events. The first one is time, and the second one is meaning making. Time really just means making the time to celebrate that event. Can the planned day of graduation become a day of celebration at home? Can family and friends be invited by FaceTime or Zoom to that celebration? We're seeing a lot of people on social media talking about people who have birthdays during this time and taking the time to still have some kind of a celebration. So that would be the first thing, is to not let the day go by, but to find the day, identify the day, and take the time to make it special. And then the question is, what is the way that makes it special for your family? What makes meaning of an event for your family? And that, again, it's going to look different to different people, but often creating something tangible is a way that we can make meaning. This might be a scrapbook. This might be a photo album celebrating the teen's accomplishments. It could be a poster with pictures and sayings. It could be dressing up at home and still taking that family photo that you would have taken at the graduation, venue, but you're going to take it in your living room or on your back porch or wherever, but you're going to dress up and make a moment of it so that you end up with the photo that is what you wanted. So taking time to mark the special events and creating something that sort of memorializes it or makes meaning of it, those are ways in which I think we can still keep some of the important parts of those rituals. It's not the same. It's not as good, but it's better than ignoring it or pretending that they're not happening. So those are my clinical recommendations.